Hey, it's great to see Graham Nolan. It's great to see everybody in the chat. Tonight, we get to talk with Graham Nolan about Chenoo, and his new project, Alien Alamo. Graham, thanks for taking time to get together. How's it going?
It's going good. The Bills are winning. We're in the playoffs. I'm happy.
The Buffalo Bills are winning. They are playing today?
No, they won yesterday. Right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing the Cleveland Browns, and whoever wins that game will determine who we end up playing.
It's kind of, with everything going on in the world between COVID, the elections, no wars, which is good. We haven't had wars.
Not yet.
No, well, next month. I mean, a couple of months from now. But yeah, it's been so hectic. I haven't really watched a lot of football.
Mm-hmm.
I did use, like, every now and then I would sit down with my dad and watch football when I was a kid, 20 years, 30 years ago, whatever it was. And he was into it. So it's fun when you're into it with people who are into it. So I'd like to see you yelling at the screen. I'd be like, yeah, Graham, tell him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Adam, did you just see that play? I'd be like, what happened, Graham? He'd be like, well, here's what happened. Because you seem to be like very patient with people and very cool with people.
Well, that's just a facade.
It's a facade. All right, we'll start the killing any minute now.
Impatience is definitely something I need to work on.
Really?
I don't suffer fools, and I get impatient. I get impatient with things that are out of my control.
Why do you think you feel that way? We could do that. You know what? I was on with this guy, John Dillard, who's a young guy. He's putting out his first book called The Buckler last night. And we had a fun stream. We talked about his book. But then it was just basically like, John, what are you passionate about? What are the other kind of things you're interested in? And it was fascinating. John is like, well, Adam, I look for gold. And I go on these running fishing expeditions. Like, what are you even talking about? He's like an adventure guy. So it's fun to kind of mix some of that in. Everybody kind of does their own thing with their YouTube show, but it is interesting to find out about people, and then just kind of get all that interesting stuff going. I really always saw you as a very chill guy, or it might just be like, if you're not happy, you're not there. Like, you're not going to see Graham if he doesn't want to talk right now.
Yeah, I'm a guy. People that know me know I have a really long fuse. It takes a lot to get me riled up, but when it goes, it's like a freaking atom bomb goes off, and you just don't want to be around.
Don't be there that day.
Yeah, don't be there that day.
Are you the basis for the Bane character? Was it your? No,
I'm starting to look like it. I got no hair like Bane,
Can I ask you, like, because Bane is like, it's so iconic. I'm sure you've been asked this a million times. How did you and Chuck come up with Bane?
Well, it's the short story is Bane was a necessary story point to tell the story of to get Batman out of the job and to install a more violent Batman, which is what fans were asking of Denny O'Neil. And Denny wanted to prove them wrong as to why a more violent Batman, a Batman like Wolverine or the Punisher, would be a bad thing. Cool. And so the basic premise was to install what's his name, Azrael, as a more violent Batman. And we needed a character to do that because there was none in Batman's rogues galleries that was either smart enough or strong enough, or there wasn't one both. So, Chuck came up with the idea of an evil Doc Savage.
Okay.
And so that was the blueprint for who that character was. And then Chuck and I started talking about where he was going to be, where he was born, where he grew up. And then I came up with the luchador look, because I figured that's what he would be exposed to if he was going to costume himself. So yeah, that's basically the short story.
So there's that iconic scene of Bane like breaking Batman's back.
Yeah.
Did that scene exist before the character even? Was it sort of like
no?
But the need for that character did exist before the character. So he kind of like organically in the story, we're like, we got to come up with somebody who's going to make Batman basically do this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know at what point they came up with how they were going to take him out, whether it was going to be a broken back or whether he was going to be mortally wounded or what, you know. I don't remember, it's so long ago, where that aspect, the breaking of the bat, came in.
Just very, it's interesting, like the visual iconic moment associated with, you know, characters or villains and just like certain positions the characters are in and things like that. But yeah, very, very cool. So now have you like made the full-time switch to I'm a self-publishing Graham Nolan now? Like you're going to do your work.
Yes.
That's amazing. It's fantastic. Like you worked for the big guys for decades almost. No?
Yeah, 37 years.
37 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
1983 was my first professional sale to DC.
Wow. And the thing with making the switch for you, did you just kind of see like the way of the industry going and you're like, you know what, I got to have my own thing?
Well, it was sort of an organic move because things were drying up. There just wasn't opportunities there for an old goat like me with these young editors, and they're hiring cheaper talent, and there wasn't enough product out there to and job offers is the one side of it. The other side of it is that I couldn't stand what they were publishing either. You know, there's only so many of those jobs you can do where you're just like selling your soul off. And
you're looking at the script and you're looking at the check and you're like, okay, am I going to do this for the rest of my life?
It's worth. And you know, so all those things, that confluence of things, all came together around the same time. And I decided, well, I'm gonna, you know, put my neck out and try and just launch my own brands of comics. I had established Compass Comics way back in 1998 when I first published Monster Island.
Okay, yeah, you've published before.
Yeah. In 1998, I self-published, and my timing was really off right then. It was right when everything was starting to tank, and so, you know, I had to go back and continue doing corporate comics. And then, you know, so now, you know, things have changed. The market has changed. The ability to publish has changed. The ability to reach your audience has changed with crowdfunding and YouTube.
It's dramatic. It's because you started in the 80s. Like I published my first comic, G.I. Jackrabbits, in the 1980s. Like right after the Ninja Turtles came out, I think within 2 years, or roughly that, I published G.I. Jackrabbits, and that was the black and white boom. And then I learned publishing myself. But it's hard to describe. It's almost like trying to describe the world pre-internet to people or pre-fax machine. It really was like the Flintstones back then. There really was not a lot of ways of getting comics out. There was direct market stores originated, really boomed up in the 80s. And before that, it was newsstand. But then really within a few years, and newsstand was not viable for independent companies. It was barely viable for the major publishers, even throughout the 70s, right? Like the 70s were kind of dying out. They were really struggling.
There's the DC implosion that happened, and
implosion 1.0, right?
Yeah, and the price point on the products was a major issue for the companies, because the people that ran the newsstands or the magazine racks, you know, they could sell an issue of Cosmo for $5 or $6, higher price point. You know, and you know, a DC comic, you know, when we were still on the newsstand, I think it got as high as maybe 50 cents, 75 cents before they started to go over into the direct sales market.
Yeah, and then was it DC that went direct? I think it was DC that went direct first, and then Marvel followed. I'm not sure. I remember that.
I think DC began the process of the direct sales market. I think so.
Yeah. And then they kind of started to give up a little more and more on newsstands. I think it was, I was talking to a friend earlier. You know J.J. Jackson, who worked at Shooter a lot? Anyway, I
know her name.
Yeah. She just doing a lot of production stuff and design, whatever. But anyways, she and I were talking, like, it was really Carol Kalish pushing at Marvel to focus more and more on a direct market. And then, a shooter saying like, hey, let's still think about newsstand though, because we've been doing this for a while and continue to get money from there. And then ultimately, no good. You just, they were dependent just on a direct market. And then it's sort of like producing collector stuff. You wouldn't have had 7 covers on X-Men #1 relaunched, right, if you didn't have the direct market. So was that ultimately healthy for them or not? But now we're direct to consumer. Now we're direct to our customer. This is freaking amazing, is it not? The technology.
It is. It's cheaper to publish too. There's a lot of steps in the production aspect of creating the comic that are no longer as work intensive. Separations for one. Having a chromalin made.
Chromalin prints. Yep.
Yeah. All those things are byproducts of an age gone by. And now, it's all digital. It's separated when you create the file in CMYK. It's great. I love it. I haven't been happier probably since the time I was actually working on Detective with Chuck in my entire career as I am right now. I'm more creative and more happy doing what I'm doing right now, and having the interaction with the fans is awesome. You had this wall, that DC or Marvel is the wall. There was no breaching there. There's no, they handled everything. You can't talk about this. We're going to send the press release out. We're going to do this, that, and the other thing. And you were just basically a cog in the wheel. Now you get direct contact with your backers and your fans. And, it's really, really, really exciting.
And you can almost, it's really neat too, in that like when we're trying to make goals on our campaigns, we know on this project, I really need to hit this number. We can work as hard as it takes promoting, right? As much as we feel we need to. If we need to hit a certain number, we can be on our own YouTube channel. We can do more social media. Your newsletter is legendary. Everybody make sure you sign up for Alien Alamo. The link is in the description of this video. And when you do that, you're going to be on Graham's regular infamous newsletter, which everybody loves your newsletter and your updates and stuff, because you do it like, what would I want to receive? So it's almost like free content. It's not just like a marketing message. But we can work as hard as we need to work to hit our number. And if things are behind, we just work a little harder. If things are where they're at, we can put our energies like where we need to put them, keep our promises. And that is an unbelievable dynamic that, like, even as I was always just publishing my own independent books and then selling them through the distributors, because there was more than one for most of the time, until it was really just Diamond. But you sell them to the distributors, and then they sell them to the retailers. I remember I had a little dispute with them in I think it was late 1990s, because I wanted to move our numbers up. And one of the things that the distributors would do too is they didn't want publishers interacting with stores directly. They considered them their accounts, and that was it. And you were lucky to have access to them at all. But what we did was some telemarketing directly to those stores. And to make the orders easier to process, we would ask them their Diamond store code. So we would collect an order from them, get the Diamond store code, and use Diamond product codes, and then turn those orders into Diamond. They were like, what's this? I'm like, well, this guy wants to order these products. And look, I've got his code. So they're like, look, all right, we'll work a deal with you. And they worked a deal where we paid them to call and verify the order or something like that. So it ultimately worked out. But just this whole, like you said, this whole wall between the people who really want your stuff and who are interested in it, who need your help too. They need to tell you what it is that they want. I have individual backers that tell me like, well, I want this signed. Can you make sure this one's signed? And the answer is obviously it's got to be yes. So you keep track of these people and you take care of each of their individual orders. And look, it's got, knock on wood, it's working. And then the other dynamic that I know, like, you've been in the industry, you've always had friends in the industry. I see people on your show, like, any number of guys that you've had on. Howard Chaykin was one that was like, we were all blown away by him in the 80s, what he did with American Flag. But you could never collaborate with people and help them like we can now, where and it helps us to help each other. It's so insane. I mean, you go to conventions, and I'm sure like you've sat next to other great creators before, but it's just this ability to like you go on Frega's channel, my channel, Ethan's channel, whatever it is, we meet each other there, and everybody just helps each other. Hopefully this can never end. What's that?
It's helping to spread the word.
You had nothing backing you up with Compass in like 1998, like anywhere near this, right? We had no resources of any sort. It was like, Diamond, will you please carry my book?
Well, that's it.
I mean, a lot.
Diamond, and they purchase books from me and stuff, and they buy it at such a low purchase price, and they mark it up for the retailer, and the retailer marks it up to the consumer. So the publisher gets, you're about 50% or less.
40 cents on the dollar, plus you're paying shipping,
right?
Plus, of course, printing and all that stuff. So we're really getting like on a $3 comic, which it was back in the day, you get $1.20, unless they've negotiated extra discounts out of you, which nobody did that as well as Diamond. Every time they keep coming up with ways of like, we have to charge you an extra 0.5% for this and a receiving fee for that, and this for that, and that for this. And then before you know it, like you wind up with, out of a $3 cover price comic, you're getting, $1. And then it's sort of like, well, how are you supposed to make money doing this?
Right.
And then you can't do anything to increase your numbers, really. You can't. You just get the order from Diamond. After they've collected the orders, you have no idea what they're going to be. Here's the order. We will buy these on a non-returnable basis. That part was good, but that is it. That's your budget. And you better get it to us in 30 days, or else. Yeah.
So you got to figure out what your print run's going to be so you don't print over too high. Or come up short.
What a business. What a crazy business. This is so much better. This is so much better to be working this way.
It is.
I love it. I love it.
It's more passionate. We're creating passion projects,
Every one of them, right? I mean, so how long did you want to do the Chenoo before you got to do the Chenoo?
Just about, 6 months to a year, something like that. I came up with the idea. I threw it out to 2 different publishers. They turned it down. I also Alien Alamo. I also offered that to 2 publishers, and they turned it down. And I had 2 or 3 other properties on the drawing board there, and I didn't even bother to push those because that's when I decided, well, you know what? I've got these properties that I believe in. I think that people would love to see these stories. So that's when I decided, well, I've got something ready to go. So I'm going to lead with, I debated on whether to lead with the Alien Alamo or the Chenoo. And I went with horror over the science fiction.
Yeah. The Chenoo is cool. And I'm not sure, if people told you this or not, or how much you've discussed it or not, but especially for like book number 1, results are excellent. Your results are excellent for this first campaign, and people know your name. The Comicsgate community was introduced to you through Richard Meyer's Expendables title.
Right.
Richard, he's amazing. He really is amazing. And I think we launched Expendables on Ethan's channel, and it was like we did a 9-hour stream, and it was awesome. It was so much fun, and the book did phenomenal, and people were really excited that you were in it. And your people have you got that? You got the vibe. Definitely people are excited for Graham Nolan to be part of the Comicsgate guys, right?
I think so.
You feel welcomed. You feel like, oh, great, Graham.
Definitely. Yeah. I feel welcome. I haven't gotten any blowback from the SJW community.
Something about you. It's sort of like you stay out of the way. You're like, I'm here for the comics, and then you're a cool guy as well,
I'm not into that henhouse shit. I've been doing this business for 37 years. I'm here to make great comics, and I'm not going to get into all this he said, she said, inter-fighting crap.
It's I have a hard time relating to it too, a little bit. Every now and then, if I have I'll get an idea and I'll make a comment here and there. But mostly, I'm just so thrilled to be involved with Comicsgate because. Like I would not be able to do comics again. I was inspired to do it by the energy that Ethan created with his YouTube channel, Comic Artist Pro Secrets. And I had been working on comics to get back into comics. I completed College of the Dead book 1 and the Mermaids completely before Comicsgate. I just had to start making the comics. I didn't know how exactly I was going to publish them, but I was figuring, wow, people talk about crowdfunding, maybe eventually. But there just kind of wasn't really a way because I didn't know, how do you build an audience? I mean, you have a name and you have some social media, but how do you get people interested and kind of excited about what you're doing and willing to want to spend money on what you're doing? The answer is the way we do it. Right? I mean, don't you think?
Yeah. Like with anything, you have to inform people. You have to let people know that something exists. And then you have to deliver on it. There's a lot of crowdfunded product that's out there that it's not up to the highest standards. It's and I don't begrudge people for trying to launch their ideas, because it's really all about the ideas. If you ever saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that first issue when it came out, it was like, oh my god, this is going nowhere. This is crap. It's so amateurishly drawn, and look at this.
I picked up 3 off the stand. Yeah, so you never know where things are going to start, and then what fire is in there.
You have to throw the spaghetti at the wall and see if it sticks.
I got a lot of spaghetti in my history, so I'm gonna. If people give me any guff, shall we say, I'm gonna say Graham Nolan said, and I agree. You got to throw that spaghetti at the wall sometimes.
That's right.
And the spaghetti that doesn't stick, Graham, you've been around the game a long time. It's okay. If you try a project, the project doesn't do. Right now, the Mermaids, I only did it for 1 month and I'm in demand now and we're completing the book ship. The Mermaids doing more than College of the Dead 1 did when it completed, but it's doing less than College of the Dead 2 did when College of the Dead 2. Well, it's a Mermaids universe and some people are interested, some people are not. So the thing of it is like, it's fine. We're making money. We can keep our promises. Are we going to do more of them? Hopefully if the energy's there, but we do another. If one project isn't what somebody wants, it's okay. We do more. There's other things we can do, right?
Yeah, you're the boss. You do whatever you want.
We do what we want to do.
But failure is where you learn. You don't really learn from successes. It's the failures. It's the mistakes you make is where you grow and you learn.
Success will get you in trouble, right?
No, success will make you rich, and that's what
it depends how big it is.
But if when I made mistakes on the Chenoo campaign that I won't repeat.
Really?
In the next one,
you mind educating?
Sure.
What do you feel was the biggest mistake?
I just read how Indiegogo calculated shipping, and so I ended up giving free shipping to about 200 products.
Sweet Lord.
Because I didn't understand. I had written on the page there that the shipping would be calculated later, but you have to put something in on the right hand side. When you click on one of the perk levels, you have to click shipping on there, and I didn't do that. I had it at 0, so that meant that when they checked out, it was calculated at 0.
Oh yeah.
And then somebody wrote me, says, I don't know if you were being overly generous or if realize it, but all these things are shipping for free.
Whoops.
And I'm like, holy shit, so that was a learning experience for me. Posters, another one. They're time consuming because prints, I should say, not posters. The posters got folded into 4s, and it was sized at such that they fit into the same size as the comic bag, so that the posters worked out fine. But the prints, 11 by 17 prints,
that's hard.
A different thing that has to be shipped. It has to be packaged differently and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's smarter if you can keep everything within the same box and not have to
the extent possible. Yeah, I'm intimidated. People have said that about some of the art pieces that I have, and I've made some posters for myself, and I love them, but and they're 11/17. But like, how do you ship those? And you don't want to fold those if it's a print, right?
Right. Yeah. No, definitely not. Now, on the plus side, something I learned that I will repeat again is tying in a product to the storyline almost like cross marketing. Like I came up with the idea for a snow globe.
I love that idea. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what hit me. I was trying to think of something that I could add in here, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this thing takes place in a blizzard. It's like a snow globe, and it was like this genius moment. And so I'm going to do that with Alien Alamo too. I have an aspect of the story and a plot that I'm researching right now that it's going to tie in and make a great little souvenir that will go with the book.
It adds a hell of a dimension to it. And then that is another thing where, because you have this, it's such an incredible advantage we have being direct to consumer. If people can get excited about the campaign, if you like the idea of the snow globe, then you're going to go for you're not just going to get the snow globe. You're going to get like probably the whole, largest tier that includes the snow globe. You're like, all right, I'll spend the $200 and I'll get the full tier, or whatever it might be. So yeah, those thoughtful products are really, really cool.
The other tie-in that I did was I contacted a brewery, and we produced an imperial stout called Chenoo Brew.
That is so cool.
Oh yeah, and it's amazing beer. I couldn't ship the beer, but we filled the cans with water, and so that they were full. And then I signed the cans, and that was a perk level. So you got these collector cans with the covers on it and the beer wrappings on it, and that was really cool.
Yeah, that the beer. I remember us all being like, "What do you mean you made Chenoo beer?" We're all like, wow, you can have beer. So you can send cans, but you can't send beer.
Correct. It's illegal to ship alcohol in the United States unless you have a special license. So I didn't want to. The guys were telling me, "Oh, I always send beer to my friends in other places," and a lot of people do it. They just label it as something else. But
I don't think you need the FBI like kicking your door down or whatever that's going to be, ATF or who knows.
As a company, I don't want that liability, so I scrapped all the beer, gave it away, and then had them fill the cans with water.
Oh, so you ship cans with water?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very cool.
So it looks just like, a beer can filled with water. You couldn't ship the empty ones because you couldn't wrap them. You couldn't wrap the empty cans. They have to be filled. The weight has to be there. Otherwise, it's too flimsy and dense and stuff. And then the collectors wouldn't like that. So it had to be filled with something. So we filled it with water, and we're good to go.
Let's talk tiers on Chenoo, just so people can kind of see what you have left available, because you still have this in demand. You've already started shipping. You're almost complete with all the shipping. I saw a couple people in the chat already said they got their Chenoos and they look fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the way it came out. The cover is a matte finish. It's a perfect bound, so it's square bound.
Nice.
It's heavy stock. It feels silky to the touch. And then the logos and the blood on the main cover are all spot varnished. So there's a shininess to it when the light hits it. It's really a gorgeous, gorgeous looking book.
And you that's another thing we could not do if it was distributed through the regular system. You really don't have the control over all of the design of the book and the printing. Usually there's the publisher gets in the way, or you're looking at your numbers and you can't really justify the expense if you're selling it through comic book stores. So people really get something special when they back these books.
Yes, because when you hit the stretch goals, when you hit the stretch goals, well, then I have the money to upgrade this. So that's great. You can promise it, and then I'm going to be doing that now for all my books. I want them to be uniform in the way they look. And this is just an awesome look. So I'm very, very happy with it.
Cool. That's exciting. Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely dead serious about putting these books out. So this is your life. This is your career. These are the characters and things you've been wanting to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That's the thing that backers, they know that I'm a professional and that I've turned now this particular one, it shipped just a little bit late. It was like 2 months late is all from my promised time. And, you throw in an epidemic or a pandemic into the mix, and it's pretty damn good.
Oh yeah. People aren't looking for these things immediately before the holiday. This is fine. You're doing fantastic. In terms of, this is your first full book. Everything worked quality wise. You have these great extra tiers. people are happy that they got it. We're going to see pictures of these all over Twitter, which is going to be awesome. So you're doing fantastic with this. Your goal was hit. You got these really thoughtful, cool extra products like the snow globe. This is, it's a really, really good, solid first campaign numbers wise and product wise. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for you. For me, like I haven't created any products yet to offer on any of these campaigns. I worked on one new one, which was a redo of my G.I. Jackrabbits book. Was a whole rewriting and whole redevelopment that I did with this guy, Professor Geek, who has a great YouTube channel. And he's a great writer. I really enjoy working with him. But it became very complicated, and the artist dropped off the project. He got very depressed during the pandemic. So he just kind of disappeared. And it was like, and this is the kind of project where you've got like, maybe 16, it's so many characters, like 15, 16 different characters in sort of like 2 or 3 different styles. So it's like a complicated Roger Rabbit type of deal. So it's like, all right, this is what a big project. But anyway, yeah, I am really psyched to see your success and know that like you're part of Comicsgate. And I say this about Frege too, and Shane Davis, leaving the industry and coming and joining us, Frege joining us, Ethan being there, Ethan bringing in Matt Martin and Trent Kanuga again. I just saw something. He did a little picture of Creed. Creed was, I don't know, did you see Creed in the 90s from Ethan's friends, from Trent Kanuga? It was, they were just like this small independent company. I don't think Cyberfrog really blew up successfully at the time. I don't think Cyberfrog was big then, or, something that people really talked about. But Creed was. People got really excited about this character, Creed, that Trent was doing. And it was just like that independent company hit. It wasn't Ninja Turtles, but it still was like much bigger than the company. And it came out for a while. There was a couple of crossovers or whatever. And then, things kind of move on sometimes and people go different directions on projects. But he's going to be in CG too. And he has his own followers and his own other audience too. And it just kind of, it builds up everything to another level. So as you can see, conceptually, I am super excited about CG. So it's just tough to, for me, I have another business too. So I have to spend more time and, get focused on producing my other books so I can get more new stuff out sooner. But that's me. We'll talk about me another time. So let's just do some tiers. And then I want to talk a little Alien Alamo. I'm not going to steal all your secrets, but the art is so clean for Alien Alamo. I really, really like the style. I know I've told you that before, but I want to go on about it like an idiot again and just be like, I like it. So Chenoo, you've got this cool tier, this signed comic book level 3. This has a remark K, shall we say, in it?
Remark.
No K. It's a remark. Yeah. Remarkable. Okay, signed Chenoo characters sticker. Oh my God, my eyes. A poster. And that's the poster that's hard to ship. Oh no, the poster that's easy to ship because it's folded.
Yeah, that's not the image of it, but that's further down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the head sketch.
That's the sticker poster. That's the sticker right there.
Which one? I'm sorry.
Where
here with the window?
Yeah, that's the sticker.
Cool.
Yeah, I love that sticker. I wanted that tier to get hit quick because I wanted one of those stickers myself, and I was gonna.
Oh, that's so cool.
I was gonna make them up if I had to.
How big are these stickers?
3 by 5, maybe something like that.
Okay, so like almost a trading card, or they're bigger than trading cards.
They're bigger than that. They're bigger than that. Yeah.
Sorry, trading cards like 2 by 3 roughly.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is like 3 by 5. It's like almost like a small postcard. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, I love those stickers. And we do have a trading card too.
Now, when you had these stickers, did you have this? You didn't have this initially with the campaign, did you? I don't think so.
Yeah.
You had this as a separate tier?
This
5-pack?
Yeah, the 5-pack was added because people started requesting more stickers.
Okay.
And because they hit the stretch goal, so everybody got a sticker anyway. But people wanted more stickers than just the one. So then I put the 5-pack together so people could have extra ones.
That's so cool and reasonably priced. Obviously, not going to get rich off stickers or anything. It's just
No, it was just a way for them to get more stickers.
yeah, a fun thing to add to the product. Do you have them in some kind of a when you say pack? Is it packaging or whatnot, or is it a
No,
bag?
there's only 5 of them, so you can't
Yeah,
really package them. So I think we just stick them into the bag, the poly
very
bag.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Nice collection. Why are people wanting to get you drunk? 32 people want to buy you beers.
Well, uh, because I asked them to. I said, "Buy me."
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. I think Billy had buy Debbie a drink, his wife.
yeah, he got that from me.
He stole that from you. You're just a cool, fun guy. Buy Graham a beer.
What was really cool was there was a backer who wrote me and said he had lost his job,
Okay.
and he was wondering if he could get his money refunded. And I said, of course, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope things turn around for you. Well, about a month later, he ended up getting a job, and so he rebacked the thing, and he bought me a beer too, as a thank you.
Oh, that's really, really cool.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing where it's very nice for, backer wants to explain they're in a tough situation. It's like, hey, it's your money. It's fine. But
Oh,
if you,
we're in a
yeah,
pandemic here. People are out of work. It's hard. It's hard on everybody. And if I completely understand if the tide turns on you, and you
yeah.
know you,
But
you got you got to cut bait sometimes.
at the same time, I have also heard that people have gotten stimulus checks recently, and some people are
Have they
getting
started sending those out?
yes, and I've heard that people are on getting unemployment too. They're extended unemployment for the recent whatever it was $1 trillion funding bill, whatever they're doing. So, what a great time to buy Graham a beer.
Better yet, buy Alien Alamo.
Well, you can sign up. We can't buy it yet.
Yeah, well, it's coming.
Save your
January
money.
6th is when I'm hoping to launch.
Oh, very cool. All right. So don't spend it all yet. Alien
Yeah,
Alamo is coming soon, a couple of weeks. Very
yeah.
cool.
And this is a good point to just say that
Mhm.
part of my publishing plan is an interconnected universe. I'm not
Interesting.
doing sequels. There's not going to be Chenoo 2,
Okay.
but there's going to be spin-offs. So the next one is Alien Alamo, and that's going to have a connection to the Chenoo. It might not seem like it's
Hmm.
clear at first, but in the third book that I published is called The Ghosts of Matacumba Key, and a character that appears in the Chenoo is going to be the star of that book, and something from Alien Alamo will be referenced in that book as well. So it's this interconnected universe that's all going to dovetail into a big story at the end.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the more we can do that, the more fun it is. People were asking me the same when I was with the Mermaids, like, is this in the same universe as College of the Dead? And it was developed separately, so it wasn't planned for that. But it sounds like you've got a pretty cool plan to kind of relate the world, and it is so there is a larger story
Mhm.
that kind of relates all to it
And
to what you're doing.
all of the stuff is all based on like horror, supernatural.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I'm not doing superhero books in this particular launch. I might do a series of superhero books later on, but
Hmm.
right now this is the focus. Is sort of this horror supernatural universe. But the styles of stories can be something like the Chenoo, which is going to be it's very violent, it's like a rated R um, um, horror film. But then there's going to be other ones that are going to be a little bit lighter, like Alien Alamo, which is more of a relationship story about a father and son, and just has the science fiction backdrop. Uh, and in the Chenoo, I actually mentioned Joe Frankenstein.
Yeah, someone's asking in the chat if there's going to be another Joe Frankenstein.
Yeah, I gave an oblique reference to it, where a character is, doubting that, this whole Chenoo thing is real, and the guy says, I'll bet you believe that old chestnut about the kid and the monster living in the grain elevators, which is a direct reference to that.
That's
Uh,
very cool.
yeah, Monster Island is going to be tied in here too, and my Monster Island characters will have a mention, even though they won't be, really appearing in any of these, but just so that everybody knows that this is a shared universe.
Yeah, there's a lot of thought behind this, and you're not even seeing everything.
Right.
That's very cool. Very cool. All right, on this tier, you've got the signed comic book and sticker. And people want more stickers, so that's why you can get the sticker. You have the sticker pack as an add-on as well?
The sticker pack, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So you've got add-ons in addition to all this stuff people can add.
Yeah. Now, we're looking at a scaled down version of stuff because we're coming to the tail end. There's a lot of perk levels that have been either sold out or I've just taken off because simplified the whole process. Now it's really about moving the comic.
Yep.
So that's pretty much what I got stuff focused on right now.
Cool. You got a Chenoo. Hey, you're getting them out the door. You really approach this stuff in such a disciplined, serious way, and this is the first campaign you're doing. So that's why it looks extremely orderly, cool, and successful, which is great. Mm-hmm. That's a Chenoo variant cover. Blue is great. It's very cool.
Yeah, Greg Wright colored that.
Has he colored a lot of your work in the past?
Yeah.
It looks like you guys have a relationship because it really. Did you give him a lot of direction, or does he just know what you want?
Usually he just figures out. He'll ask me questions, and he'll send me like a rough idea of the colors, and then I'll say, well, I don't like this palette here or whatever, let's punch this up or whatever. But he's so good. He has such great color theory knowledge. He knows how to play the colors off. Because one of the things I hate most about modern comics is the oversaturation of color and the modeling of everything. Everything's modeled, and so that it deadens the image. There's no sense of depth anymore because everything is modeled, whether it's the foreground, middle ground, or background, and it's just muddy and nobody's thinking in terms of theatrical lighting.
So much less dynamic, not engaging, not interesting.
Right, and it takes you out of the story. It leaves you you're wandering around. Your eye is wandering around instead of leading through the story.
Yeah, I mean, just sitting here now looking at this cover, I feel like I'm in danger. I'm like right behind this Chenoo guy, and he's pretty close. You get by getting like the depth perception of the color theory. And honestly, I just kind of know what I like. I'm not trained and deeply understanding color theory. You just kind of. This is why it's good to rely on other people for things like that sometimes. But I did get a sense that this is either something you spent a tremendous amount of time coordinating with him, or you guys have a strong relationship because it's just beautifully done.
Yeah,
so great.
Great job.
Okay, and you want this one too. All right, so this is the Chenoo variant cover, but because we just went over that, we looked at that cover.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, with the sticker, and then the signed comic book level 2.
Yeah, that's the poster there.
Okay. Oh, that poster is great.
Yeah, I think there's a larger version as you scroll down.
There is. Beautiful piece. But this basically you have to ship the poster almost like it's original art, or
no? The poster's folded. That's not a print.
Okay.
So
it's mixing them up.
Yeah. So the poster gets folded into 4s, and it goes right into the poly bag.
Nice.
Yeah, and this is sort of a goof too, because if see the logo there, meat, it's what's for dinner.
Yeah.
It's based on a 90s beef campaign.
Yes.
Mitchum originally did, and then Sam Elliott took over after Mitchum died. And it was,
they show up like thick steaks.
And it was like, hey, beef, it's what's for dinner. And that's the actual fonts and design for that logo that they used in that beef campaign. And I found it online, so then I replicated it to
Good Lord, Graham, was that in the 90s? Was that 20 plus years ago or something?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I remember it. They used to throw like steak on the screen, and it was like cooking or something, or it looked great.
Aaron Copland, Americana music in the background.
Yeah, worth looking up. And the trade on that is he's eating a poor person, it looks like, or something that used to be alive. Hey, Chenoo's got to eat too.
Yay!
If you get in the Chenoo's way,
He's all
your
teeth,
Chenoo
though.
food. Chenoo-alicious. All right, hold on. Bing, bang, boom. All right, cool. So that's how you can get the poster. It's not the print. Adam is catching on. Retail level. This is a lot of Chenoo's. This is 5 signed Chenoo's for a deal. $20 per Chenoo, and 3 claim. That's cool.
Yeah,
So
that
these are guys.
that was my outreach to retailers, so that they could, if they
Sure.
wanted to support you. You know, a lot of them sort of take a adversarial stance with crowdfunding.
Yep.
But you know, you can work together on it. You know, you still get a discount on it. You can still make a profit selling these books because they're coming to you signed as well. So
Mm.
that boosts its value to you as a retailer.
Yeah, and really, for retailer could be a store, or it could be somebody on eBay as well. You know, if somebody puts a signed copy of this on eBay,
Sure.
they're going to make some money on it. Ethan has done really well with his eBay store, because there's so much awareness of what it is he's doing. So it's good to have outreach for that. I think for smaller campaigns, campaigns where the creator isn't really known and isn't sought. So if somebody puts Graham Nolan in eBay, honestly, projects are going to pop up. I'm sure. I haven't searched you recently on eBay, but I'm sure they will. So when people go looking for Graham Nolan, if someone's got a unique Graham Nolan product, that's a cool gift for someone to buy for someone else and resell. Same thing with Ethan. With me, there are my projects do pop up from time to time, but I don't have a lot of I don't have any mainstream projects. All of my stuff has been independent. So there aren't, I'm not the perfect person for someone who's looking for the gift for that Batman person.
Right.
So, but, for you, for Frega, for Shane Davis, I think that a lot of retailers are going to pick up on some of this stuff. I mean, as time goes, but yeah, they feel adversarial because they are being cut out of the process. There's got to be a way we could work with retailers. It's just, it would be a heck of a lot of effort. And what could they do that we can't do? Well, if a retailer is still in business, they probably have a customer base with email addresses of, 500 or 2,000 people that are interested in comics.
Mm-hmm.
They don't all go to YouTube. They just don't. They don't all search our names, to Google and then come across the product. So there could be some in-store promotion where we collaborated with them. I know there was one guy who floats around the chat rooms who was a big supporter of Comicsgate. I can't recall his name, but he has a retail store or two. I think he's in Hawaii. And what he does is if people show that they backed, I think he was doing this on Dan's campaign, they showed him that they backed Black Flag, then he did something he gave them something, or there was some additional discount or some other free comic or something like that. So maybe, kind of a way we could kind of coordinate something. Obviously, I haven't spent that much time thinking about it, but there are hundreds of thousands and probably more people who bought comics in the 1990s that when they become aware of us, are interested in these high-end collectible, boutique, passionate projects from creators like yourself. Mm-hmm. And me as well. Why not? All right. Retail level 2, they can buy even more books. 10 signed copies. That's great. That's great. So 4 people have taken you up on that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And hey, if obviously when those books sell for them, they're making money, they'll come back to you and they'll back at the same level and they'll probably buy more. Right. You're doing sketches too? I didn't even realize that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Original art sketch level tier, signed 48-page comic signed by Graham Nolan and a cool Chenoo character sticker. And then you kind of let them pick what they want drawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. Very cool.
That's the third tier of that. The other first 2 sold out.
Wow.
Sketches.
And this is your normal rate, basically? This is like you accept commissions normally, and this is just like another way.
Yeah.
So it's a good rate. So that's great. That's excellent. It's excellent. All right. The Ultimate Graham Nolan Collection. Hardcovers. What the heck is this, Graham?
It's the Monster Island and Return to Monster Island and the Art of Graham Nolan Blackbook.
Oh, that is so cool.
So it's a collection. There's like the 94, 96 page books. The Monster Island is a colored reprint hardcover of my original Monster Island, which I published in black and white back in 1998. And then Return to Monster Island is all new. That's the follow-up sequel that everybody had been waiting for. And that's, they're all oversized hardcovers. And that one's in full color too. It's a beautiful book.
When did you color them for this campaign, or they were colored before?
Oh, there was printed before. There was another. It was a
Oh,
Kickstarter campaign that
okay.
Ominous Press, who were the now Creation Inc., were the ones who published that.
Okay. And does that have to do with Bart Sears?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that was the original company, and Sean Husvar, I think, bought it from him, and they've been handling various publishing. They did something recently with Jim Starlin too, publishing some
Oh,
buses of
very
Starlin.
cool. Very cool. And of course, Andy Smith is hanging around with us now.
Yeah,
Doing
yeah,
First Man.
yeah,
Excellent.
yeah,
Very cool.
and I talked about that.
Excellent. Great guy. What a great guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
And sorry to tell people, this original Chenoo art is already sold. $1,000. Someone wisely backed it. And sadly, it is gone.
Mm-hmm.
It is gone. But there's still plenty of great stuff available on this. Let's talk some Alien Alamo.
Alien Alamo? Yeah.
Oh, man. Alien Alamo. I really like the art. I really like how clean it is.
I just got the cover back the other day from Elizabeth Breitweiser, who was coloring it for me.
Oh, cool.
And these spot illustrations I colored myself. But Elizabeth colored the wraparound cover for the book. And it looks amazing. It's so cool.
Wow. Yeah, she's a hell of a colorist, I know.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So,
I can't wait to. I'm not gonna show that until I'm ready to launch the campaign.
okay.
Yeah.
We like the promo art so far. So what's the story with the father and son? I mean, tell us what you can tell us about this so far, because I know it's a little bit we're going to hold off on, but tell us what you can tell us.
The story takes place in 1957, right after Sputnik was launched by the Russians, and Travis Houston, the father, is a World War II vet who he's suffering from PTSD experienced in the Pacific. His wife has died, and it's him raising his son on their ranch called the Alamo in West Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And because of where he is in life right now, he has this. He and his son aren't getting along. He just can't connect. He's too much haunted by the things that he saw, until a meteor shower comes, and the meteor brings these aliens, and the aliens multiply and are going to eventually possibly take over the Earth. But it brings a war back to Travis that he needs to experience with his son. It's something that they can share together as they fight off these aliens and rekindle their relationship.
That's such a cool story. Did you do some writing before you did your own comics, or did you just start writing when you did?
The first piece I ever sold to DC Comics back in 1983, I wrote.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I've always considered myself a writer that draws and not an artist that writes.
Yeah. When you speak about the foundation for your story, it's very relatable, and it's very interesting. And I guess the dad only feels like he's good when he's at war. Like he understands, like
it isn't that it's he can't share the experience of war with his son.
Okay.
Like if you ever talk to World War II guys, they never talked about it. They would never talk about it until later in life, when they felt that they could finally unload some of this stuff. But most of them never talked to their families about it. And this in 1957, Travis is a young man. The images, the horrors are still fresh in his mind, and he can't share that with his son. But once they get together, because of this alien invasion, he can express himself, and then the son can kind of understand now what the father was feeling.
They have a
back. It brings him out of his shell and brings him back to his relationship and to his life.
Interesting. It's interesting. That human element is such a cool basis for the story. And then so you're exploring what kind of themes in the story, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, the themes are a relationship between a father and son, the relationship of war and the damage that it causes, the post-traumatic stress disorder that these men experienced, even though it wasn't called that back in the day. They didn't have that phrase for the men of that era. And a lot of them just kind of like sucked it up. You know, this in World War I, it was called shell shock, and they continued that thought in World War II. So, you know, they're all strong relationship themes, and I think that's going to be a really cool thing to explore.
Yeah, it's really thoughtful and it's really interesting. And this will also be like that 48-page perfect bound.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
With a lot of other cool items. Chenoo will not be on this campaign, though, right? We're not going to be able to back Chenoo if we miss it. Like, if we want Chenoo, get Chenoo now.
I haven't decided. I'm still building the Alien Alamo campaign. I'm going to put a tier in there where you could get both books.
Okay.
For people that maybe that discover Alien Alamo.
Oh, they will. There are always new people. Always new people come in and they'll say, "What else have you done?"
Yeah, I'll make it available so that they don't feel like they missed out and will miss all those little Easter eggs that we talked about earlier.
Okay, but then this book is going to be shipping a number of months out. So if people want to see the Chenoo now, like they should back the Chenoo now, that would be fantastic. And that will be shipping within a couple of weeks for sure, because you've already started shipping.
It's shipping now. All the orders that are in at the moment should go out the door by next week.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So we've got like 2,000 orders, and a lot of them overseas, a lot of them all over the place, and they're all already shipped. So we're really, really, my fulfillment group is just doing an incredible job.
You have a team that's kind of helping you?
Yeah, I'm using creation.inc.
Oh.
Because they had to do the fulfillment for their own stuff, and they offered to do it for this. So
those are the guys that used to be Ominous Press?
Yeah. And they're right up, they're only about 35 minutes away from me.
Wow.
So it makes it so much easier for me, like for delivery and for signing books. I just can drive out there, sign all the stuff, and then they have it right at the source for shipping.
Fantastic. Really, really manageable.
Yeah, very much so.
All right. Guys, make sure you sign up for Alien Alamo. Obviously, this sounds like a great book. Where Graham's coming from and the story is really interesting. Let's sign up for that. Alien Alamo. The link is in the description. Also, check out the Chenoo. It's still going. There are some copies left.
Put the pedal to the metal, because it's not going to be up there much longer. So
yeah, it ain't going to be there forever. And then your next chance is going to be probably, oops, I typed it wrong. Your next chance is probably going to be as, another tier on Alien Alamo, which truthfully is going to take a couple of months. Obviously, the campaign runs for a few months and then it ships, later. So,
then it has to be done then.
Yeah, I mean, this is one hell of a cool looking book. Graham, to be honest with you, I don't think I backed this. So I think like when we're done, I think I have to go and back this myself. We talk about these campaigns all the time, and it was like, I thought I backed that. Like, no, you didn't. Billy backed one of my college day, graduation day campaign like 3 times. And I was like, Billy, you backed this 3 times. Like, I kept forgetting. I wanted to make sure I did not back it. I'm like, it's okay. You can back it 3 times. And of course, I have the Mermaids running now. This book is nearly complete. We're just finalizing putting it together. We're actually, Graham, this is kind of cool. It's like Game of Thrones with mermaids, and there's more to the story than that, but just to kind of get the aesthetic of it. I worked with some really, really great artists and writers, and we put together a whole unique world. There are a lot of stories in there. And this is what happens when I was working kind of without a deadline. I just wanted to get back into comics. And so we just worked and worked and worked and worked. So yeah, it was actually originally something I thought I'd ultimately be launching on Kickstarter, because This was pre-Comicsgate. Even when the art was all completed, it was pre-Comicsgate. But still, it was 2-3 years or 2.5 years of plugging away at it and getting the thing done. So yeah, I love making these books. I love shipping these books. But right now, JJ, who's doing the production for me, she's also a cartographer. So she's like, listen, we should design a map for this, because this is like, you've got all these different areas, and there's like 5 main different areas in the story, and let people kind of get a sense of where everything's at. So we're adding some additional things to it. But I'm scheduled to ship April 2021. We should be shipping by February, no later than then, and then launch the next campaign. Oh, sorry, Eric has a super chat. Thank you, Eric. Did I hear Adam right? You take commissions for $200. Well, no,
that's not right.
Thanks for the $2, but no, yeah, Graham, I'll go back to the tier. Let's take another look at the tier, guys, to make sure we know what we're talking about here. This is on the Chenoo. There was a sketch or something.
Yeah, that's different than a commission level. This is a head sketch. It's on a, I think, 6x9 sheet of Bristol, and it's like convention sketch level.
Yeah, I misspoke because I called it a commission. I misspoke. So thanks, Eric, and thanks, Graham, for clarifying that. It's a marker head sketch.
Right.
So it's convention level, but it sells out like a mother. People like these.
Oh, yeah, they love them.
He keeps selling them left and right. So, you want to, you get something for yourself, get something as a gift, or get something as an investment. Think of the most, how about Bane, signed and created by one of the creators of Bane. Flip that thing on eBay and make yourself some money.
Well, you also get the Chenoo with it too. So,
and you get a Chenoo you get a Chenoo signed. You get a character sticker. You get a poster, and you get a remark. I learned how to say that properly. It only took me an hour. A remark inside the front cover of Chenoo. So that's a remarked edition Chenoo.
Correct. Yeah.
That's $100 Chenoo. Am I getting it right? So what I'm saying is not that the whole tier is 100, but that's what you normally charge $100 for.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it is. So the head sketch is only costing like $100.
The head sketch is only costing $100. Come on, Eric, put that $100 together. You're going to be getting that $600 stimulus windfall. You put $100 into a head sketch, you flip that for $3 on eBay, and if you don't, you still get to keep the head sketch.
I'll have that tier on Alien Alamo as well. So
I like that tier.
Yeah,
I think I like that tier. Yeah, I just described it badly. Sorry, guys. Sorry. How about, would you consider a lunchbox? The lunchboxes are so cool. Could you imagine I could do a College of the Dead lunchbox? I want to do that badly, but I don't have the new campaign ready yet. But what about a Chenoo lunchbox?
Well, Chenoo campaign's over, so.
But maybe a Compass Comics series, like for the next campaign, a Chenoo lunchbox and an Alien Alamo possibility.
No,
Patrick Parnell makes them, and Frega, I think, is also, isn't he making I think he's making a lunchbox. Ethan, I think, is making a lunchbox.
Yeah,
I don't know. I can't really keep track, but I think Patrick's making a big lunchbox where like his toys are fitting inside and stuff. So anyway, just interesting things to talk about and look at.
Sure.
Eric says he did get his $600 Trump bucks last week. Well, if you haven't blown them all on crack and prostitutes, then whatever's left, please back the Chenoo, back the Mermaids, be part of CG, help make these things happen. Another happy Chenoo receiver. What do you call Chenoo fans? Do you call them
my Chenoo
crew? Chenoo crew.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations on being part of the Chenoo crew. You too can all be part of the Chenoo crew. Simply by backing the Chenoo. I can turn you into a mermaid by backing the Mermaids. Alien Alamo will give you, it will not give you PTSD, but it will give you an ability to fight aliens.
It'll give you a warm feeling in your heart, and you'll have had a wonderful adventure that you were immersed in for 25 minutes, half an hour it takes you to read these things.
And then you again flip it on eBay. Put that on eBay, and then you'll be sad because you won't have it anymore. But probably your best bet is if you guys can do it, if you go for that one where you're getting the $100 Chenoo book along with the $100 head sketch, which basically is $200. If you can swing it, That is pretty freaking amazing. That's a pretty good deal. And you probably can sell the head sketch for enough to cover the whole cost of the thing. Can the Chenoo swim? That's a fair question. Can we get a Mermaid Chenoo crossover? That's going to be some difficult negotiations.
It will until when you read the end of the Chenoo, you might not want to do that. So
you might have. I'm game. I got a lot of. We have like 35 mermaids in that book. We went way too far with development on it. It was almost like the one thing we could do was develop it. I wasn't sure how we were going to publish it. It's like, all right, let's just keep spending money on it and just keep make more mermaid stuff. Could got $200. The Dems weren't. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know what I mean? Free money is free money, brother. So 600, $2,000, 25 grand, whatever it is, free money is free money. College of the Dead, back to elementary school. No, we can't do that. But the next College of the Dead is written. We do have the layouts done. I do need a new artist to finish the layouts because we lost the artists. These things happen, but we're using his layouts. He told us he's more than happy to. His layouts are great, already approved by the writer for revisions, and it's a very cool. It's a really very cool story. I really love what he did with the character. We have this happy-go-lucky girl who's continued from the previous 2 books in College of Dead 3. And we learn that she's kind of she's sort of responsible for the zombie outbreak because she traveled when she wasn't supposed to on a spring break trip. And she's this party girl, but she's like that beautiful, carefree woman that's like, is so compelling. We meet a few of them in life. And I'm reading her dialogue and how she's written because I did not write it. Stefan Petrucca wrote it. And I'm like, I want to meet this girl. I'm like, Stefan, I love this book. This is so great. And then that's life in publishing. We lost the artist. All right. Billy is the guy who I have to make a coloring book of the mermaids for because Billy keeps telling me you got to make it. Do I have a thing where a chick has to get her arm bit off in all my books? I get that question a lot. I'm not sure if it's from you or not, Billy, because I get it in a couple different chat rooms. Mermaids Massacre. No, we don't want to. Well, there's some fight. Yeah, there's another. Women do tend to get their arms bit off in my comics, but it's a complete coincidence. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Did she wear her mask? We do not know. All right, guys, we're going to let Graham take a nice break or draw a lot of comics or do his stuff. It is getting a little late. It is Sunday night. You guys are amazing. You're an amazing group. I appreciate all you guys in the chat room. Billy, it's great to see you again. Shadowhawk, Eric Huffles, Paul Vassy. I know I see Vassin. I see your name all the time. But I can't read it because I don't wear glasses. And we also do know that, yes, the Chenoo can swim. That just a Chenoo eats sushi. We don't know. You got to get the book. You got to get the book. You got to find out.
You might go into a sushi shop. You don't know.
He'll eat everything in front of him. He'll eat everything. People, mermaids, zombies.
Look at those chops. He'll eat anything.
Exactly.
He'll eat all kinds of meat.
It's only 7 o'clock where leg kick is. Then you must be on the West Coast. All right, guys, please consider backing the Chenoo. I love to see when you guys, after we're done with the stream, I love to see when you guys are sharing it on Twitter because like that is backing without even spending. So being able to share the campaigns on social media, huge, huge help and really appreciated. I don't know if you feel this way, Graham, but I know when someone shares one of my campaigns, College of Dead, Mermaids, whatever it be, I really appreciate it. And thank you for, by the way, helping me and sharing it. But doesn't it kind of feel like, because we all have this little evil doubts that pop up every now and then. And it's like when you see people are supporting you, backing is fantastic. But then there's people that are looking out for you and they're sharing your campaign.
Right.
That's a hell of a feeling. So guys, you're not just, if you see like, oh, this thing has 17 shares. If you make it 18 shares, what's one different share going to do? It's like, sometimes we get those one at a time, those notifications as, us who have put the tweets out. You guys do tweets, you know how it works, but it's not insignificant. It's really, really appreciated. And it's putting fuel in the gas tank. So we really appreciate you sharing these campaigns, looking them over, letting people know about them. And then definitely, if you can afford it, go ahead and back those campaigns. It's really appreciated. I want to see what funny thing Eric said. And then Adam's favorite character in Jurassic Park was Samuel Jackson because his arm was bit off. Perfect. I knew I could count on you for something cool. Not like I could read it before I put it on because I can't see. Yes. Oh, also, please do subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. I'm going to have a couple of other cool people on. I'm trying to do a stream every night at 9 o'clock. Graham, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Great to
thank
speak to you. Yeah, man, great to have you. All right, guys, have a great night. We'll see you again soon. And if I don't see you, I will miss you. Please do subscribe and click the bell for notifications. Also, Graham has a very cool, unique YouTube channel. Before I go, Graham, what's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's just Graham Nolan. But I do different shows. I do Wednesday night at 8:00 is The Storytellers, where I interview people like Walt Simonson, Howard Chaykin, Michael Golden, and we discuss comics and storytelling and techniques and stuff like that. Then Saturday mornings, I have my Saturday morning Western Roundup, where I talk about Western movies, and that's a lot of fun. So I'll let you know what one's coming up. Well, in fact, this Saturday is The Professionals with Burt Lancaster and Lee Marvin and Robert Ryan and Woody Strode. It's an excellent film. Watch it and then come on in on Saturday mornings. We'll have a lot of fun talking about it.
Would you mind if I ask you? Yeah. So, guys, in all seriousness, a lot of us do different, chill streams. Some people do art streams. Graham comes on his YouTube channel as a professional, and they talk art and storytelling techniques, and he does this with like legends. I don't know why I'm so taken with Howard Chaykin. I think just as a kid, seeing his work and just being amazed by it. And then we never had a way, like back in the 80s, to contact people we were fans of. It was just like you knew their name. I remember being blown away that like Peter David had an email address on AOL that you could like email him. Like you could actually contact one of these people, one of these creators. So just something about him. But Walt Simonson was another guy that's like legend. Yeah. And you have very insightful, interesting storytelling conversations with these guys. I was listening to your one, the one with Chaykin, and another one that at the moment I can't think of. But it's just an interesting, very interesting dynamic to see you hosting. Eric, thank you for sharing that link so people can share Graham's channel. Graham, I just want to steal you for one more minute. I finally saw The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Mm-hmm. And I watched it because I'm trying to develop something that's John Wick-esque. They were saying one of their influences was Good, Bad, and the Ugly, and it was a classic movie I'd never seen before. What do you take away from The Good, Bad, and the Ugly as like these like iconic elements of it? This is why it was such an amazing film, or was that a film that you were not that that didn't take you the same way?
No, I like The Good and Bad and the Ugly. It's the third in Sergio Leone's trilogy with The Man of No Name, which was played by Clint Eastwood. It's not a real true trilogy because the stories don't interconnect, and the character isn't necessarily the same guy. But for some reason, they all follow that. There's fistful of dollars, few dollars more, and The Good, the Bad.
Same universe, same aesthetic. Not necessarily same universe where you see continuity. Same aesthetic.
Same type of character. He wears the same serape. He chews the same cheroot. And since he is the man with no name, he could be the same guy. But Leone was fascinated with David Lean, and he always wanted to do like a Lawrence of Arabia version of a Western. And The Good, the Bad, the Ugly was his first attempt at doing something like that was bigger than maybe the subject matter warranted.
It had a tremendous, powerful, iconic sense to it. Just the way they're shooting scenes. When you say Lawrence of Arabia, like absolutely, you see those incredible wide shots, and then the close-ups on the characters, and then you have these anti-hero characters that they kind of make you care about, that are not good people at all.
Yeah, Tuco and Angel Eyes and
Angel Eyes and Blondie. Blondie was
that's what he called him because he has blonde hair. Hey Blondie, it's your pal Tuco. Don't die on me, Blondie. Please don't die on me, Blondie.
The dynamics between those characters, it really was. It was amazing in that, like, they all had like a really, really strong presence on screen.
Oh yeah, Lee Van Cleef was great, and what's his name? The guy who plays Tuco.
You could just say Tuco. I don't. I saw it recently, and I have like support memory for this. But just to see like the guys, this is your if you guys are comics creators, you guys are interested in comics, and just to see like the interaction of the characters, I would highly recommend checking it out. You'll also see like Quentin Tarantino was very influenced. I think it's fair to say. You know, the repetition of the music when someone was shot or something really dramatic happened. You know, there's nothing like, for me, there's nothing like the series, the Twilight Zone, the original Twilight Zones, where they're able to give you the willies like when they want to, and they're all such a great example of common aesthetics being used to create a mood and an experience where you can get. They're all, you know, weird fantasy stories, but I don't know. Is there anything else that was there any other TV series that could really just do that? You know, give you that kind of impact as an audience member, like watching this series where you've got like this common aesthetic in there.
Is that a rhetorical question?
Yeah, no. Well, it's a Graham Nolan question. If you haven't thought on it, I'm curious what you think.
Yeah, you know, I think there's a lot of great shows that immerse you into their stories. And I'm assuming that's what you mean when you say the aesthetic of it is that you buy into what they're trying to sell you, whether it be a Twilight Zone thing with a kind of a twist ending or a shock thing, or whether it's something an emotional thing. Star Trek was something that immersed me as a kid. Combat was another one that there was some really great. Combat was so good. Steven Spielberg stole most of it for Saving Private Ryan.
Oh wow!
So yeah, this, The Rifleman, another one where within 20 minutes, you know, you had this story that was just fully packed with emotion in 20 minutes. You know, I mean, that's good writing.
Fantastic. Graham, I could definitely talk to you a lot more, but I promise to give you back to your lovely family. So guys, please take a look at the Chenoo. Again, when you're sharing it on social media, it's a huge help. It's really appreciated. And also sign up for Alien Alamo. It's a really big help. And check out Graham's YouTube channel. You're not going to be disappointed. You leave the interviews up, right?
Oh, yeah. They're all archived on there. So you can go back. It started with the 31 Days of Monsters back in October, where every day I took a different monster movie and talked about it, its backstory and stuff like that. So if you're into monsters, go back and watch the videos on the 31 Days of Monsters.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know who the hell Walt Simonson is. Go see him talking to Walt Simonson. Go see him talking to Howard Chaykin. It's something you're going to learn from it. So go check it out. You're going to enjoy it.
Definitely.
Alien Alamo, did you sign up? Yeah, well, no, just sign up. You don't have to see if you signed up. Sign up. It doesn't cost anything. All right. Well, have a great night, guys. We're going to let Graham go again. And thank you so much.